So this is paper 1 of 2020. Again, this is 1.5 hours and 90 marks. And it starts with a multiple choice question. You have to put a cross in the box. Which one of the following is an example of a reward from business activity? Financial loss, that's a risk. Overheads, that's the cost. Lack of security, risk. Independence is the answer. So it's C. Which one of the following is the definition of market share? So market share is a proportion of sales in a market made by one business. 3 marker, explain one benefit to a small business from having a unique selling point. Unique selling point gives a competitive advantage that would make customers more likely to buy from the business rather than from the competitors. Thus, business benefits from market share, easier to cover the costs. So give 3 to 4 linked sentences. Explain one advantage to a small business of using trade credit as a source of finance. Trade credit will allow small business to buy now and pay later. So you're showing the knowledge of trade credit. This means the business has a chance to sell the goods before it has to pay its suppliers. This enables the small business to hold on to cash for a longer time, thus improving their cash flow or cash position. Okay, so that's like a good 3 marker. Then you have a multiple choice. Here you have to select 2. 2 of the following are examples of secondary market research. So secondary market research is research based on already existing data. So that's internet and market report. Which 2 of the following are examples of variable costs? Variable costs are costs which change with the output. So it's packaging and raw materials. Then you have a numerical. You are given information about the cash payments of the business in 1 month. It sold 200 units. All customers paid in cash, and you are supposed to calculate net cash flow. Always start your numerical with the formula. Net cash flow is cash inflow minus cash outflow. Now you work out what's cash inflow, money coming in. So the selling price is 15 and they have sold 200. So 200 times 15, that's your inflow, 3,000. Outflow is what they have paid. So they have paid rent, wages, advertising. Add all of these, that's 1650. Subtract, you get 1350 pounds as your net cash flow. So if you start with the formula, that makes it easier to calculate. One disadvantage of starting a small business as a partnership: there may be disagreements between the partners, which means it will be difficult to make business decisions. It leads to business not being able to meet the needs of its customers, making customers choose the competitors over them. So this is explain one way the marketing mix of a small business may change. Due to changing customer trends, small business may have to make changes to its product because the lifestyle of consumers may require extra features on a product. Therefore, the design of the product may need to change to meet customer needs. Finally, it develops competitive advantage. It might add cost of research and development if you want to add that as well. Which one of the following is a characteristic of a sole trader? They have unlimited liability. This is about percentage change. So percentage change, the formula is new minus old divided by old times 100. Again, start with writing the formula. So new is July figures. Just put in the values and you'll get the answer. Explain one reason why new business ideas come about. New business ideas may come about because consumers want something new, as existing products may not meet their needs. This can lead to an entrepreneur spotting a new business opportunity in the market. Market mapping, we have to give one advantage. Market mapping allows business to spot a gap in the market. It can lead to a business developing a product to fill this gap. As a result, the small business may capture market share from competition. That's your 6 marker. Treat it as 2-3 markers, so 2 points, and develop them into 3 sentences which are linked. Discuss how the decision making of a small business may be affected by increased competition. Increased competition will affect how a small business decides what price to charge. A small business may decide to use a competitive pricing strategy to maintain market share and lower their profit margins if they are unable to negotiate better deals with their suppliers because of the relationship with them. It's a new business, the suppliers might not trust them, etc. Increased competition will affect location decisions for a small business. They might decide not to locate in an area where there is lots of competition, as it will be difficult to attract customers. So then it's your section B. Read this case study properly and answer your section B questions based on this case study. So this is about your On Your Bike, which sells bikes to kids, and they also rent tourist bikes. One reason why cash would be important for On Your Bike: cash will allow them to pay their suppliers. This might ensure it can continue to stock wide range of cycles. So this is what they do: they stock wide range of cycles. So that's application. Cash is used to pay suppliers and the employees. Analyze the impact on your bike customers using social media to review the business. That's a 6 marker. It can increase the number of customers because the reviews on social platforms can be shared by the tourists when visiting London. As a result, tourists may now consider renting cycles after reading reviews, whereas previously they did not know that this service existed. It is difficult for the business to respond to negative reviews of the cycle rental service. Even if a review is incorrect, anyone who reads it may doubt the excellent service offered by On Your Bike. So this is totally an application picked up from the case study. 2 points given, and that's how you answer your 6 marker. So here you have to calculate the selling price per bike. So start with the formula. You have been given revenue, number of bike sales, and you have to find the selling price. Revenue is price times quantity, and if you have to calculate price, rearrange revenue divided by quantity, and the answer is 550 pounds. Calculate the profit on your bike. Profit is total revenue minus total costs. So your revenues are given, and you have to calculate the costs. So cost is fixed cost plus variable cost. Fixed cost is this, variable cost is per bike, and number of bikes they sell is 2000. So 350 times 2000, and that's your answer. That's how you calculate profit. So that's your 6 marker. The owners of your bike want to lower the break-even level of output and have decided to do this by reducing cost. Analyze the impact on your bike, reducing costs in order to lower its break-even level of output. Reducing costs would allow them to make more profit per cycle if average price remained at 150. 550. As a result, On Your Bike would need to sell fewer cycles in order to cover its fixed costs and therefore break even. In order to reduce its costs, they might have to reduce the amount it spends in employing mechanics and sending them on training costs. This may negatively affect on their excellent customer service, leading to the lower demand and the business not reaching a lower break-even point, hence creating cash flow problems. State one market segment that On Your Bike has targeted. So they sell to children or their parents buying first cycles or scooters, tourists looking to rent cycles while they are on holiday. Outline one impact on your bike of an increase in value of pound. If there is an increase in value of pound, the pounds against other currencies, then imports will become cheaper. This will mean that they pay less for bikes made in other countries, hence reduce their costs. Then you have a 9 marker. That's the last question of your section D. 9 marker, again 2 options are given, and you have to choose one option, write positives, negatives about that. So the question is about response to growth in cycling market. On Your Bike is considering 2 options: open a second shop or use e-commerce. So best is to just choose option, write positives and negatives about it. So I've chosen option 2 here. E-commerce will allow a wider range of customers to have access to On Your Bike range of cycles and clothing. Currently, the shop can sell to people that live in London. E-commerce would allow people from all over the world to buy products from the business without On Your Bike having to invest in a huge amount of money in shops, retail shops. They sell clothing and helmets, so can easily sell across global boundaries 24/7. This will help On Your Bike to increase their revenues and expand with their own retained profit instead of borrowing money for expansion. This can reduce their cash outflows However, on your bike, customers may not be interested in buying products using e-commerce. They may prefer to buy the bike and physically inspect the product. Also, the tourists rental business does not require e-commerce to make a purchase. They need information that can already be found on websites. So that's how you mark your 9 marker. So this is section C. There is a case study and you have to answer on this for this case study. State one stakeholder of Loco. So apply to the case study. The owner of Loco, his name, write his name or any other quality given, mention that. So that would be the application. Or employees who help build and design the SUPs. So that's the stakeholder. So next question is basically it shows the interest paid on savings. Identify the best year for Loco to save any retained profit. So for saving we need higher interest rates, so that's why it's 2014. One way that a business plan could have helped Joe when starting Loco. Joe could have used a business plan to set the aims and objectives. This could have helped to create USPs, unique selling point, for SUPs that help the business to be competitive against larger manufacturers. Next is your 9 marker. Again, 2 options. To make improvements to the business, it's considering 2 options. Introduce a digital payment system like PayPal, hold online meetings using digital communication. Justify which one of these 2 options Loco should choose. Digital payment systems make it more convenient for customers to pay for SUP products for Loco. This should therefore increase the number of potential customers. Loco sells SUPs and surfing equipment throughout Europe. Digital payment systems will allow customers to buy the equipment 24/7. It will also allow the payments to be made using different currencies. This helps to remove restrictions that would be in place if Loco only accepted traditional methods of payment. However, it is difficult to inspect and test the physical products via a virtual meeting. Loco's brand depends upon how well the product performs. This is something that cannot be done using digital communications. And then it's a 12 marker. The last question is always the 12 marker. Evaluate the extent to which Loco will be able to compete with larger manufacturers of SUPs. You should use the information provided as well as your knowledge of business. Loco will be able to compete because its flexibility will help meet customer needs. The larger manufacturers already have existing market share and position. The owner of Loco was able to be innovative in designing new SUPs after working with professional SUP riders in Fuerteventura. Stand-up paddle boarding is not a mass market sport, so has relatively low numbers of participants. The flexibility of the business may allow it to make individual changes to its products as requested by its customers. Larger manufacturers may not be able to do this as the SUPs are manufactured in larger batches or in bulk. This may be important to professional SUP riders. Select Loco products, then the brand of the business will grow and become attractive to other customers. The size of the market makes it difficult for new brands to become established. Large manufacturers benefit from economies of scale and can make it difficult for new businesses to compete on price. They'll have lower average costs and will benefit from spending more money on marketing. However, this will depend on how much the design process and time spent creating the new brands will increase the average costs of making the SUPs. This may therefore lead to higher prices. This may not affect the professional riders, but will make it difficult for other riders to buy the SUPs. This could therefore discourage them from buying Loco boards rather than those of the larger manufacturers. Also, the personal touch offered by Joe, offering personal help and advice to customers when buying their equipment.